thing with bringing getting this over.
Today we'll be learning about open reduction and internal fixation, or ORIF. Open reduction internal fixation is a technique used to manage fractures and involves using plates and screws to provide stability. It is particularly useful for intra-articular fractures, epiphyseal fractures and displaced unstable fractures, especially in the extremities. The major goals are to restore functional anatomy, achieve appropriate fracture fixation, preserve blood supply and allow early mobilization. Once the surgeon has made their approach, they reduce the fracture as best they can. This can be done by hand or by using reduction forceps.
There. See here? There's a fracture.
Yeah.
Yep. So I'm going to place it. Can we get... we'll try and reduce it. It seems to be pretty well reduced. See? There, it's slightly displaced that way. So we need to... There we go. Basically hold it in.
Once they have visualised the fracture well, they pick an appropriate size plate for the fracture. They then place the plate over the fracture site. This can be done by hand or by using the plate holder. The plate can be held in place with bone holding forceps.
So we'll think we'll catch it the other way with the two little holes in the distal fragment. We'll try and span it if we can. I think it's drill time.
Now it's time to insert the screws. Usually, screws closest to the fracture are inserted first. The screws should pass straight through both cortices through the centre of the bone. This is known as a bicortical screw. Ideally, there should be 3 bicortical screws above and 3 bicortical screws below the fracture, but this may vary. The drill guide is placed above the hole in the plate at the desired angle. The drill is then inserted and used to drill a hole through both cortices. The surgeon will feel the resistance against the drill give way twice. This is how they know they have drilled through both cortices.
Are you happy to hold? Hold that one. Just hold the body.
The body, wait, isn't like this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The drill is then removed, keeping it running on full power as it is removed.
Yeah. Measure anything?
A depth gauge is then used to measure the length of the screw required to pass through both cortices.
Measure that as 24, 23.
A screw of the correct length is then inserted into the hole using the screwdriver. This process is repeated for the remaining screws.
I'll measure it. Yeah, 23. That's better.
That's good. Perfect.
24. I'll measure it. 24.
Perfect, yeah, that's so much better. Yeah, let's just see, yeah, that's good.
You're reducing it still?
Yeah, that's good.
Make sure you're maintaining that reduction. Yeah, you're through. And up. Good. Measure it. No, you don't need that. Just go for it. Stick it through. What's that saying? You got 2, yeah?
Yeah. 16.
Back place. And you screw it in. And just screw it on. Yeah. Yep.
Once all screws have been inserted, they're given one final tighten.
Cool. We'll give them a quick rudimentary tighten.
The fixation is then visualised, and if the surgeon is happy, they can begin to close the wound.
We'll start closing. Tools back to you. Get this to this.
I mean, yeah, you know where that's going now. Just spit in.
Can you keep that out of the way from me?
Yeah. Perfect.
Nice cut. Yep.
To summarise, first the fracture is reduced, then the plate is placed over the fracture site, then the hole is drilled, then measured, and the screw inserted. Ideally, aim to place 3 screws above and below the fracture line, with each screw firmly secured through both cortices. Finally, tighten all the screws and close.
Really short. Yeah. Sharps back to you. Can I get the Frio, please?